William Regal appears on this week's episode of NXT, the special Roadblock special, and addresses his real-life son, Charlie Dempsey. All of the details on that, plus Trick Williams makes his return to NXT television after the attack and betrayal by his former best friend, Carmelo Hayes. Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. Asuka and Kairi Sane retain the Women's Tag Team titles. Roxanne Perez officially turns heel. We got a look at the brand new AEW Dynamite logo and color scheme ahead of tonight's post-Revolution episode, which is set to feature a brand new set as well. And so Ruca is back on NXT television. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about William Regal appearing on NXT last night and being involved in a segment with his real-life son. Last night's NXT Roadblock, the return to television of the legendary William Regal, featuring his real-life son in a segment in the ring. Celebrating Charlie Dempsey's victory against Noam Dar for the NXT Heritage Cup last week, the No Quarter Catch crew made some news in an in-ring segment, confirming their intention to defend the Heritage Cup, still using their catch clause rules. When someone has a title shot, they are still going to face an unknown member of the crew, and not specifically just the champion Dempsey. It was after this announcement that another well-known figure joined the conversation, the return of William Regal on WWE television. Now, Regal had not been seen on WWE television until very recently, after having spent a period of time as an on-screen character in AEW, making his return to live television in front of a live crowd. Of course, he did actually appear a couple of weeks ago when Ava was officially named the NXT General Manager, but this was the first time he was in front of a live crowd. The crowd chanted quite clearly, "He's your father," dispelling any opportunity for the viewers not to know that Charlie Dempsey was the real-life son of the legendary Regal. Noting that the Heritage Cup meant a lot to him, William Regal vowed to keep his eye on the No Quarter Catch crew. In a fun moment, Charlie Dempsey retorted that he would defend the title better than William Regal ever could. Also, maybe worth noting, Regal's nameplate listed him as Mr. Regal instead of William Regal. So what are your thoughts on William Regal appearing last night on NXT? Do you think it's going to lead to something bigger in the future? Let me know your thoughts and predictions about that in the comment section below. Now, Trick Williams also made his return to NXT last night at NXT Roadblock, seemingly setting up a big match for WrestleMania weekend. In the main event of last night's NXT Roadblock, Trick Williams returned from over a month away after the betrayal of Carmelo Hayes. After Carmelo Hayes viciously attacked his former best friend Trick Williams to close the NXT Premium Live event Vengeance Day, Williams hadn't been seen since. However, making a triumphant return on last night's NXT Roadblock, Trick was able to distract Melo before he even actually arrived. During Carmelo Hayes' main event match against Tony D'Angelo to determine who would get the title shot against Ilya Dragunov at NXT Stand and Deliver, Williams' music played. While Hayes was distracted, it became apparent that it was in fact a ruse, as Tony D capitalized on the distraction and picked up the victory. Therefore, Tony D'Angelo will face Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver during WrestleMania 40 weekend in Philadelphia. After the match, the Don apologized for having excited the fans with hitting Trick's music without him actually appearing. However, reminding fans that he was a given Don, there was a surprise as Trick Williams' music played again, and this time he actually made his return to NXT television. While in the end Melo escaped with the help of his security team, Trick Williams is clearly not playing games with his former friend, seemingly setting up a match between the two during WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver as well. Now, the NXT Tag Team titles were on the line last night, but they did not change hands. After defeating Nathan Frazer and Axiom 2 weeks ago, Chase used Duke Hudson and Andre Chase earned the right to challenge for the NXT Tag Team Championships on last night's Roadblock special. Their opponents, of course, were Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker, whose 2024 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic victory paved the way for them to claim the NXT Tag Team titles last month. Hudson and Chase, former tag team champions in their own right, put forth a valiant effort, but in the end, it wasn't enough to overcome the devastating finishing combination laid upon them by Breakker and Corbin. After sending Breakker crashing into the steel ring steps, Chase then took out Corbin with a top rope crossbody and a super kick for a near fall. In response, Corbin hit Chase with an end of days, and before Chase could properly regain his footing, Breakker, who had tagged himself in by this point, charged towards with him with a spear to secure the victory and ensure the NXT NXT tag team titles remained in their possession. So no new tag team champions last night. But what about the women's tag team titles? Well, we did see Damage Control last night in the form of the Kabuki Warriors on NXT. Damage Control's Kabuki Warriors are still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions after defeating NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley on Tuesday's episode of the show, the special Roadblock special. Now, last week, Valkyria promised Paxley the match after Paxley was able to keep up her end of the deal and stay backstage and not get involved in the match while Valkyria defended her title. At the beginning of the match, commentary mentioned that Asuka has never lost in an NXT ring and reminded the audience that she herself was a 500-plus day NXT Women's Champion. Asuka and Valkyria started off the match before Kairi Sane mixed it up with Paxley. The cheap shots from the champions started early, with Asuka kicking Paxley as the challenger rolled out to the ring at one point to get her bearings. Valkyria and Paxley initially worked well as a team with a series of well-timed super kicks to the champions, even sending them through the ropes to the outside of the ring. Valkyria accidentally hit her partner with a kick meant for one of the Kabuki Warriors and was taken out of the ring herself. Asuka kicked Paxley in the back of the head and held her opponent up as for the Sane to hit the Insane Elbow from the top rope and pin Paxley for the victory. Asuka and Sane retain the championships and move on to Raw to face Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark as well. Now, when it comes to what happened after the match, we did see a heel turn last night on the NXT Roadblock special as Roxanne Perez has now officially turned heel. After weeks of teasing a string of bad behavior, WWE superstar Roxanne Perez has fully turned heel on the special Roadblock episode of NXT last night. In a post-match attack on current NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria, former champion Roxanne Perez cemented that her evil streak was here to stay. As I mentioned, the second tag title match of Roadblock featured the women's tag team titles on the line as the Kabuki Warriors defeated Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley. However, after the match, Roxanne Perez struck out from nowhere and attacked Valkyria, shoving Paxley out of the way. The Prodigy cemented her heel turn, waging an attack on the NXT Women's Champion. Lyra Valkyria was shown being stretchered away from ringside despite the apparent arm injury and loaded into an emergency transport vehicle as Shawn Michaels and Ava watched on. So, seemingly, this also sets up a match during WrestleMania weekend at NXT Stand and Deliver. Now, let's talk about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. Of course, it's the post-Revolution episode, and it's set to feature quite a lot of cosmetic changes for the show, which you can see right here. Now, this kind of had been leaked and put out there with match graphics and trademarks, etc. But another new AEW Dynamite logo has been revealed ahead of the post-Revolution episode tonight, live on TBS. All Elite Wrestling is riding high following a successful Revolution pay-per-view featuring Sting's final match and a star-studded lineup filled with spectacular matches. Ahead of Revolution, AEW President and CEO Tony Khan announced the company will be debuting a brand new logo and set for their flagship Dynamite show. At AEW Revolution 2024, the promotion revealed the logo after Will Ospreay's victory over Konosuke Takeshita on the show. On Tuesday afternoon, the AEW Twitter account took to social media to promote this Wednesday's March 6th episode of AEW Dynamite with the new look and logo. The post, which you can see on the screen right there, reads, quote, "New look, new season. Wednesday night's AEW Dynamite is not to be missed tomorrow," that's today, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TBS. Now, already announced for this Wednesday show, the Don Callis family's Will Ospreay will face Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher. Of course, both are parts of the Callis family, and also both were teammates in the United Empire in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And finally, we saw a return to television last night on the NXT Roadblock special. We saw several, one of which, though, was Sol Ruca. During NXT on Tuesday, Ruca came through the crowd and attacked Blair Davenport during a match against Fallon Henley, allowing Henley to pick up the victory. Both Ruca and Henley celebrated after the match as Davenport recovered in the ring. Ruca had been out of action for nearly a year due to an ACL injury that required surgery. Ruca was written out of NXT storylines last year after a mysterious attacker assaulted her outside the WWE Performance Center. The attacker also put the likes of Wendy Chu, Danny Palmer, and Nikita Lyons out of action before it was revealed that Blair Davenport was behind the attacks. Last month, Ruca returned to in-ring action for the first time since April of last year, losing a tag team match to Jacy Jayne and Thea Hale on February 9 February 9. An NXT vignette aired last week on a beach where "See You Soon" was written in the sand, largely hinting towards Ruca's return, which we saw last night. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.